Hello, welcome back guys to our next tutorial in the series. Today we're gonna discuss about the variables in Java. So in Java we have 8 primitive types of data types. Primitive types are provided by a language. Other than those 8 primitive data types, we have reference types, which are the built-in classes, objects in Java. Like string is one reference type that we'll cover in our next tutorial. In this one, we'll focus on the primitive types, what Java provides us. So, just to save a little bit of time, I have created the steps out there with the comments as I shown you guys in the last class how we can create multiple line comments. So we'll declare the variables now, initialize them now, but this is just a step. So I have created a class called variables. Inside there, it's a method named as main, the entry point of the class. So main method is always needed. Nothing else, just the comments. So let's get started with the first data type that we're gonna discuss, which is byte. So guys, byte is one of the most basic units of memory, right? We have bits, bytes, megabytes, gigabytes, right? So byte is made up of 8 bits. It is used as one of the most basic units. The range of byte data type is -128 to 127 and positive. Default is 0. We can define byte as byte, byte, my byte. I can give any value within the range. So let me give 100. I can print out this value saying byte value. To concatenate, I need a plus sign, my byte. That's it. Then the next type is short. This is also used to store integer values. The range is quite big. It's bigger than byte. Starts from minus 32,768 to plus of 32,767. Default is again 0. Short we can define as short, and my short I can give the value as maybe 10,000, bigger than 127, and let's keep it within the range. So short value plus sign my short. Boom. Next one. This is int. This is the most popular unit to store, most popular data type to store integer values. This has a quite big range, as you can see. It's -21474836482 to positive 21474836487. Pretty much any integer that we need in the programming will fit in it. Pretty much, I'm not saying all of it. Most of the times you never have to remember these ranges, guys. If you really care about the memory and your program, what it's utilizing, then you're really sure about the values, that my value will stay within 127 minus 128 to positive 127, then only you use bytes and shorts. Otherwise, pretty much every time you can use int to declare any integer values. Let's call it as a little bigger number, and int value int. So the next in the field is long. Again, something used to store integer values. Why it's needed? Just the higher range than integer. We only use it when we are sure that our value falls beyond these ranges. Alright, so if we are sure that we need very high value, then we declare a data type as long to store the values. We can declare saying long, my long. Let's take a real big value, and so long value my long. Okay, Now what does it say? Okay, okay, this is out of range, so I think I've declared quite big. So yeah, we have exceeded the range. See, the beauty of Eclipse, it at least shows us that thing right away. We don't have to compile it. We don't have to go through all the compiler checks to know this thing. It tells me right away that it's out of the range. The next one is float. Float is used for the decimal digit, guys. Integer values, we cannot have the decimals, so we have float for floating point values. I declare it saying as my float. Let me say it's 20.0, and let's see now. This is a decimal digit, right? Now when I do the semicolon, it still gives me the error. What does it say? Okay, it says type mismatch, cannot convert from double to float. Why double? Oh my god. So what happens is, in Java, everything in a decimal digit is by default thought of as a double value. Double is also a data type. So if we really want to explicitly declare float, then we use f, 20.0f. Like I was saying, the most popular one to use is int. Similar way for decimal digits, most popular one to use is double. So Java made it explicit. If you want to float, just type f. We do CISO float value and my float. Here comes the double that we're talking about. So it is declared as double. We can say my double. Also, one thing, we don't use floats in any currency calculations, anything which needs a lot of precision, because it is not very precise. It's just a single digit precision. It's not very precise to used in calculations for banking stuff, for currencies and those kind of things. So we don't use float in that. We can declare double as, let's say, 21.0, and now notice I don't have to say, see, you have seen the default for this as 0.0d, the default for this as 0.0f. I don't have to give d here. I can just do the semicolon and it accepts it, because that's how it goes, right? Double is the default thing. CISO double value, my double. I think I forgot to mention, guys, sorry for that. So default for all the integer data types are 0. Default for byte is 0, default for short is 0, default for integer is 0, and default for long is 0. So default for float is 0.0f, default for double is 0.0d. Okay, now let's get to our next data type, which is pretty interesting, which is Boolean. It is the smallest data type, you can say. It has only one bit, which is either true, either false. That's it. So either you are correct or either you are wrong. That's it. It is declared as saying Boolean, my Boolean. You can give any name, guys. I'm just giving a random names to just keep the consistency. My Boolean. And notice, I will not give any double quotes. I will not give any double quotes. These are the Java keywords. I'm just giving true, and it's accepted. So true is known as to be a Java keyword for Boolean, and there's again one another as false. It is accepted. And for Boolean, false is the default value. I've mentioned it out here. So let's give it true. Let's not go with the default, and CISO Boolean value, and this is my Boolean, like that. Last but not the least is char type. Some people can pronounce it as char also. I just say char because it's character. So I define it as my char. The range is 0 to 65535, but it is used to store only one character. It's the Unicode string, Unicode character. So I can say char, my char a, and char value, again a plus sign to concatenate my char. Oops, I don't need this double quotes here. So my char. Guys, this only stores one character. So for strings, we'll go to the string type in our next tutorial, which is a reference type. It's not a primitive data type. So these are the character values. What it does is, let's say I print, I run the program. What it does is, see, it shows me all the values that I typed in. I gave them the values. So now you understand, right? This is just a placeholder. This is the name of my friend, my byte. And when I'm calling him, he's coming to me with the value 100 that is assigned to him. So these things are just the names of the variables that we use for the values. Placeholders in the memory. When we declare a variable, it reserves some memory space, and whatever value we give, it is stored in that memory space. Names are there for us to remember, for us to understand what we are given, and it is called out with the name. We can use the variables throughout the program, but it depends on the scope of the variable definition. So if the variable is defined within the method, it doesn't go out of it. So we have to be very specific, very careful about it. If I am defining a variable inside a method, I cannot use it outside that. Wherever the scope of the variable is, only that place I can use it. So we'll go through it in detail, but let me give you some idea. So let me create one more method, public void test, and let me give it. So guys, you can see that if I give my and press control space, it gives me all the options of the variables that I declared here, right? Because I'm in the main method. As soon as I go out of this main methods, this thing, right? This is the main method. You can see the highlighted portion, right? This is the main method. When I go out of this, I'm in the test thing. Let me get rid of it. I say my and do the control space. No default proposals, because this method doesn't know about those variables. So because those variables are defined only in the main method, only my main method can see that. And there is another scope of the variables. If I declare them outside of the main method and within the class, let's say I declare int my global int. All right, let me say this. So if I say this, my global int, this is now my global variable which is seen throughout my class. So if I now say here my global int, see, it directly gets it, and it is visible inside the test method because it is not limited to the scope of main method. It is within the class, any method can see it. So this is basically the scope of the variables definition. We'll cover those in more detail, and this is it for now. So these are the 8 primitive data types in Java, guys, and that's it for now. So in next class we'll cover our string types, the reference data types, and I'll post this code on the Udemy so you guys can access it, view it, refer it, and use it. So here it is. Alright guys, thanks for attending. See you in our next session.